Yo, what's going on? Back again. You're tuned in for another week, Thursday, with your man Sean, better known as Beast on T. I want to thank y'all for tuning into the Brotherhood to check me out. This week's topic is dysphoria. I think my biggest triggers with dysphoria has got to be not having had the top surgery. I did briefly give a little rundown in my very first video with the Brotherhood, my intro video. Check that out if you haven't already, of what happened with my first attempt to get top surgery. And it has kind of made me a little leery about getting it. So I've kind of been dragging my feet about going through the process and everything to get it, or attempting to get it situated and taken care of a second time around. So a binder is something that I still deal with on a regular basis, and I just don't ever feel flat enough a lot of times. Some days I'm good depending on what I'm wearing. When it doesn't, when it's not one of those outfits, it can be a lot, and sometimes that alone, your outfit can play a huge make or break factor in how you feel about yourself for the rest of the rest of the day. That's like the biggest thing for me. The other things are kind of minor triggers. They're not so bad to a point where they will completely destroy my day, or my mood or my vibe for the day. It'd be my voice. There are some times when I'm around other guys, whether cisgender or other brothers in the community, and their voice will be deeper than mine, and on occasion it'll be like, damn, it made me feel like a little ass boy, like I'm not deep enough, as far as my voice. And I have to remind myself how far I've come. So when that happens, a lot of times I'll throw on old videos so I can look at my progression and hear it and see it, and that does oftentimes help. The other thing that really gets to me a lot is my beard. There's a lot of trans guys who have probably, some of them I know for a fact have been on T longer than me. Other ones, no, and their beards are thicker and fuller, not patchy. But that takes time, that takes dedication, excuse me, and patience, and a lot of TLC to get that hair to grow in healthy and thick and full. And some people, it's just genetics. A lot of your father's genetics is going to play a role there. So look at the men in your family if you are having issues with that as well. I'm trying to think. Another thing that it's a little rough for me is the bathroom. Only thing that kind of bugs me is going into the stall versus using the urinal. On occasion, I wonder, like, damn, I wonder if anybody else ever wonders why I always use the stall. So the tips that I have for you guys to deal with, dysphoria when it does show its ugly, hideous face. Number one is you want to become secure with yourself. Acknowledge that she was here. Pay homage to her. She's not an evil person. I had to do that, and that was one of the first steps I had to take to become okay and centered with myself, which in turn helped me better deal with the people who do want to belittle me and bring me down and try to make me feel like I'm not man enough or could never be man enough, and if you're not centered in one with yourself and okay with her and at peace with the fact that she was here and she did exist and all of that, you're increasing the potential for them to succeed in beating you down and belittling you and making you feel like shit about yourself. And you don't want to give anybody that power over you. So, and it takes time to become at peace with that, but just accept that she was here. The same way someone would say, I acknowledge him and I'm thankful for my life experiences because they made me who I am today. It's the same thing with her. She was your vessel in your ship to get here and to get to the point that you're at, to even begin to become the man that you are. she's a heroine. She's a hero, you know? So let her be that. Acknowledge her as such. She brought you to this point, you know? She, in so many words, sort of is somewhat responsible for getting you to this opportunity, you know, to truly become who you are and who you're meant to be, you know. So don't look at her as a bad person. And other people, remember, are only going to understand things from their level of perception. Don't dumb yourself down and pull yourself down to their level of understanding and argue your point and your principles and teachings on an ignorant person that does not want to hear it, doesn't want to learn, and doesn't want to be educated. You know, because if you argue with a fool from a distance, nobody can tell who's who. You know, remember that. But become okay with her, and remember, she is no longer. Okay? Um, I mean, it's no different than somebody that's done a bid. They come home, and a lot of people are only going to see a criminal, but they could turn their life around, do a 360, and now be a business owner that ain't stole a lollipop since they got home, you know? And there's some people that are just going to always look at them and see a criminal, you know, but they have to be at peace with themselves to know that they're more than that so they can accomplish more than that. You have to do the same, you know? Acknowledge that she was here. When they, oh no, you always going to be her, you're always going to be a she. She was here. She existed, and she was dope as fuck. You know why? Because she survived long enough to get me to the point where I could start to become who I am today. You know, be okay with that. Because if you can't get okay with that simple part, you'll never, ever be able to deal with the fuckery that's going to come from some people, unfortunately. And then you also got to become at one and at peace with yourself, because we have a tendency to compare our transition to other people's transition and where they are. My voice isn't as deep as his. My scars don't look like his. You know, my beard's not growing in the way his is. You know, my chest doesn't look as flat in the binder as his, so on and so forth. There's so many different comparisons that you can subject yourself to when it comes to other trans men and cisgender men. Don't do that. The only person that you're in comparison with is yourself. So when you're feeling like that, look back at old videos and photos of yourself and then look at you now. Look at the progression. Acknowledge your successes and the journey you've the portion of your journey that you've experienced thus far. You know, remind yourself that you have come a long way. You may still have a hell of a long way to go, but you've still tread a lot of ground nonetheless thus far. So be proud of that. Acknowledge that. Don't, is it minimalize? No, don't minimize that. I'm making up words and shit. Oh. Yo, make sure you become at one with yourself. Otherwise, no matter how far your transition goes, it's never going to be enough. You know, number 3, support. If you do not have support at home, I think it is very important that you do find some. There are a lot of brothers in the trans community who are willing to mentor and be that open door and that support system for someone else. You know, if you're not sure who to go to, then, you know, contact one of us at the Brotherhood. You know, we're more than willing to be that support for you. Just hit us up, you know. And if you did have a bad experience trying to reach out to someone as a mentor or trying to gain a friend in the trans community, trying to get a little bit of support, not everyone in the trans community is receptive to that. Some people I've realized are just not very nice people, unfortunately. I mean, you would think we would all stick together, but unfortunately, everybody doesn't feel that way. So, I mean, don't let them deter you and, you know, make you unwilling to find support, because it is out there in our community. You know, watch a few videos, and if one of our personalities you think better meets what would work for you, hit us up. If not having had top surgery bothers you, a binder, of course, as I know you guys are aware. If you're having trouble getting a binder, reach out to different groups, that are doing things in the trans community, and just ask for information on how you can go about getting an affordable binder. I mean, there's giveaways being done all the time. We plan on doing a lot of them in the near future. So, you never know. You mess around and get a binder just by simply subscribing and following different pages, different trans groups within the community, different guys in the community. There's guys constantly doing for others, so just follow, subscribe to different people, different pages, different YouTube channels, and see what comes about. I highly recommend trying to get your hands on too. I cannot say it enough. I think it's extremely important to have two of them. One that you wear like for everyday use, because it's gonna stretch out, and then when you really go out somewhere and you want that fresh open binder flatness, you're gonna wish you had that second binder. Another thing that I think is ideal for battling dysphoria is your clothing decisions. Dry fit shirts from a lot of the sports brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma, Jordan, a lot of the dry fit clothing is really nice to rock in the summertime because it is a lot cooler than wearing the heavy cotton shirts. But the problem is it hugs and lays on the curves of your body a lot more than you may want it to. So if you haven't had the top surgery, it might show a little bit more than you would like for it to. You could even try going up a size. I wouldn't go too big because you don't want to look crazy, unless big clothing is your style. Another thing you could try is putting on a hoodie, and be mindful, even with the springtime and the summertime coming, which I wish. Technically, it's supposed to be spring, and I wish whoever keeps listening to the Frozen soundtrack with their kids would stop, because you are summoning cold weather that I want to leave. You know what I mean? But at any rate, it's getting warmer slowly. It's dragging its feet, but eventually, the weather's going to change. It may be hot where you're at. On a regular basis, cut the sleeves off of a hoodie. People are rocking hoodies that don't have sleeves on them on a regular basis now. Same thing with button ups. Cut the sleeves off of a button up. Rock flannel shirts. You know what I'm saying? Cut the sleeves off, buy them short sleeves. Keep them long if you prefer, whatever, and just put that second layer over top of that t-shirt, or over top of that vintage tee that you have, or that dry fit shirt that you're rocking, because it'll just drop straight down, and it'll help take away from that curve that's going to come on the outside, especially if you're a husky guy or you have a larger upper anatomy that's harder to hide and conceal. As far as like bottom dysphoria kicking off, I would suggest a packer. When you're getting into the realm of needing an STP and something for pack and play, that's one of those things that's trial and error. So I do suggest you at least get yourself a packer that can do the job, whatever size you prefer. Whatever size you feel like is ideal for you. Get yourself preferably rodeo, because they have an option for the packer to be in place, but it's not directly touching your skin, so you don't have to deal with all of that sweat in the summertime, because the packers and the STPs and the pack and plays, they're just not a breathable material. So I do highly recommend the rodeo undergarments. Have not tried them myself, but based off of all of the research I've done, I think those are ideal. I am going to try them soon when I get my Royal Magic pack and play, but I have not tried them yet. But there are reviews out there, you can check them out yourself. But I highly recommend getting a pack and play. Not a pack and play, I'm sorry, a packer, so you at least have that bulge, because I did notice that whenever talking to women, not all, but some, there is a tendency to eyes go down to below the belt, and it's probably just them trying to, they probably think you're cute and want to see what you're working with, but of course dysphoria will convince you of otherwise. Oh, they're trying to see if I'm really a male. That's what dysphoria is gonna beat into your head. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, the same way a guy may check out a girl's back end or what have you, you know what I mean, the ladies they're gonna check you out as well to see what you working with. Be mindful of that. So and also remind yourself of that. Don't let dysphoria control you. There's going to be times where it gets the best of you, and that's okay. But you got to use your reinforcement tactics. Look at old pictures where you were, where you're at now. You got to think of different tactics to get those positive affirmations going so you can get yourself back on track. It is a process, and you have to dedicate to it because it is not easy staying focused through a transition, which is why support is so important. Because when you're not able to refocus yourself and your energy, you need that person to just shake your ass out of it and be that support and that reminder for you, until you can realign your chakras and get back on your A game. I don't really have much else. The bulge is definitely something. Whatever's your thing. Some like the bigger the better. Others want, just enough where you can see it. Whatever's gonna help you. And remember, there's no wrong way to go about any of this. There's no such thing as not a deep enough voice. I mean, there's cisgendered males that have high pitched voices, and that's just what it is. And they were born male, so don't let anybody make you feel like you are not man enough, because it's just simply opinion and it's just not true. And nobody else's opinion is valid unless you make it valid. You know what I mean? So fuck them. It's just a matter of opinion. You know. And like I said already, stop comparing yourself to other people. You're the only person you're in competition with. Other than that, I think I pretty much hit on everything that I did want to hit on. Was there anything else? I don't think so. Oh, lastly, I do want to mention that when it comes to facial hair, there are some things that you can do to encourage that. One is definitely TLC. You got to give it tender love and care and patience. So TLCP. Wash your beard with a shampoo, a beard shampoo, something specifically for facial hair. And I mean, and you can use I think they got beard conditioners too, but at least with the shampoo. And then you're gonna want to get you like a beard balm or an oil, because you don't want to overdo it, but you want to keep it well moisturized and encourage that healthy hair growth. It's not gonna make it come super fast, so don't expect that, but it's going to help it come in correctly. All right, but you gotta really take time and patience, brush it, comb it, and really dedicate to it. I mean, at one point in time, I couldn't even get what I have now. Like, you can see like light spots here and here. There's some light spots in there, and I just trimmed it. I need to trim under here, but I'm trying to get it to grow in a little bit more in this area, so that's why I haven't done it there. And here it's a lot fuller than this side. See how that's not, and then under here, there's like in here, there's a bald spot. I don't know if you guys can see it there, and then like here, but it's coming in, and at one point I couldn't even get that much in, but time and patience. And if you stop fixating on it, a watch pot never boils. Stop fixating on it. Do the hygiene care you need to do to that particular area, even if it's working out and you're trying to sculpt your body. Do what you need to do for that day to keep moving towards that goal, and just stop fixating on it. Stop looking at your gains every day in the mirror, especially if doing so is going to make you depressed and anxious and not want to do it because you feel like you're not getting anywhere. Stop paying attention, and then one day you'll just go to do something and you'll notice a new muscle pop out, and then you'll be like, oh shit, gains, nigga, and get hype as hell. So, just be prepared to take the good with the bad, and be patient. I think once we start transitioning, we just want her to be over, and that's understandable, but you gotta be patient. Nothing worth having comes quickly, and it doesn't come easy, and Rome wasn't built in a day. So, and unless you're trying to build some little chicken coop shack or something like that, then You know, you shouldn't be looking for a quick fix either. That's pretty much all I have. Stay tuned. Follow me at Beats on T. Follow the Brotherhood at Brotherhood. Replace the T with the 7. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can stay updated on the giveaway that is getting ready to go down. My man from IMI Inc. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen the label floating around in the community. If you haven't purchased from him already but have been looking to try out the product and do so, you're definitely going to want to be subscribed and following our Brotherhood page on IG and my personal page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can stay up to date. I'm waiting for his products to arrive. They might have even come today, I hope. I know they shipped already. We'll see. Once they do come, I will go about the whole giveaway process, you know, and see how we're going to get to that. That way we can get it to one lucky guy, maybe even two. I did order a couple of things from him, and you guys can try a little some of his products to see if you too want to become a new customer. I know one thing he does offer, which I think is absolutely amazing, is so many different options to customize the oils and the beard bombs and stuff like that. He does offer to put liquid biotin in it, which is an awesome thing, I think, because that encourages hair growth. Okay, and what do you call it? Strong, healthy hair growth at that, you know. So definitely something that you definitely gonna want to be on the lookout for, so you can try. Other than that, y'all, that's pretty much all that I got for today. I want to thank y'all for tuning in with me. Any other questions that you have, hit me up. You know, it's your Thursday guy, Sean. Thanks for watching.